I'm doing really well tonight. I'm excited to see these two teams play. I I know definitely see a lot of names I recognize. I don't recall if they played in the previous season under the Minion Miners title, but there's definitely some returning players on this team.
Nice. Cool, cool, cool. Well, the important part about casting is remembering to unmute your audio output mic because you've been doing production for the last 4 weeks. So don't worry about that. We all mess up. So, yes, this is Ektar joining me, friend and teammate, and we're getting into the draft here. We have Kane and Rainer band, and then Samuro band on the side of Minion Miners. That's an interesting band. Is there somebody on gillyShark that is known for the Samuro?
If they are, they're not known for it in NGS because I don't think they've played too much Samuro. The other two bands, however, the Deckard and the Rainer, those are definitely target bands. Minion Miners have played Rainer in 7 of 7 games that they've played, and they've played Deckard more than any other support.
Hey, man. Well, that's not going to continue this. Wow. You know, Jimmy's already banned. You don't have to take further blinds. He can't make it into the draft. It's fine. Diablo banned out on the side of Minion Miners. That seems pretty standard. That doesn't seem too targeted.
No, and gillyShark haven't run too much Diablo.
Cool. Well, it does look like gillyShark has done their homework. Ooh, Maev and Jaina.
That is a spicy first-round draft coming out.
Yeah, that is some spice on top. Double damage already picked up. We'll have to see if they want to go into like a Garrosh, really, really good with Maev, or anybody else. However, Johanna, I would say good frontliner against Maev. So, looking good so far. Tyrande and Malthael picked up for gillyShark.
gillyShark is picking up a lot of wave clear right now. Jaina is good wave clear coming out from Minion Miners, but Maev is only kind of okay, so I would expect to see a lot of rotations coming out from gillyShark because they definitely are building that kind of high mobility wave clear team comp. And Tyrande can really help to secure kills, which is a big portion of that game plan.
Yep, Tyrande's been the gank support since she released with that 25 armor cut and the Lunar Flare to follow up to any kind of crowd control. And Johanna's pretty easy to follow up to with the punish slow after. Rexar and Ana, nothing too surprising there.
Yeah, it's been interesting how strong Rexar has been in the meta since he just got a couple of number tweaks. He didn't get a huge rework, but just those auto attack buffs is really kind of bringing him into the meta for the first time.
We got Stukov and ETC, so we do have that Flex Bruiser to pick up. Stukov, though, let's talk about Stukov, because we haven't seen a lot of Stukov. He hasn't been making big waves, but he is a very, very powerful support.
He is the only other support that the Minion Miners have run in this season. After Deckard got banned out, Stukov was their next most played at 3 games. So not terribly surprised. Minion Miners really tends to fall back onto their comfort picks. In 7 games, they've only played a total of 10 different heroes.
Holy mother of poke comp coming out from the side of gillyShark. That is Malthael, who doesn't have any kind of burst damage other than last rites. Junkrat, who does enormous amounts of poke spam, and Sylvanas, who does dagger spam in certain builds. That is a lot of poke on the side of gillyShark.
Yeah, gillyShark is not the team that wants to take the strong engagement. And Minion Miners is playing very strongly into the foil of that. They really want to engage with their team comp. So gillyShark wants to not be engaged on, and Minion Miners wants to engage. So we're going to see which team is actually able to pull off their strategy more effectively.
Yeah, I do like the Varian pickup. We'll have to see if it's Colossus Smash or Taunt. So we'll certainly have to see. While we're going ahead and loading in, let's pop over to the map picks and bans since we slid right into the draft at the start. gillyShark went ahead and won the coin toss. So they opted for first pick in that map. Minion Miners went on ahead and picked up the map pickup. So they chose Tomb of the Spider Queen, and the bans were BOE and Dragonshire. So
Dragonshire getting banned out by Minion Miners, and gillyShark banning Battlefield of Eternity.
Yep. Alrighty, over here on the left side of the map, we do have in blue gillyShark. We've got Chest Looter on the Junkrat, Kaimo on the Tyrande, Jinxie on the Johanna, Stark on Malthael, and Kagakiri on the Sylvanas.
And for the right side, we have the Minion Miners with Jaina being played by Marshall, Stukov by New Flash, Maiev by Himbo, Varian by Kobo, and ETC by Cathan. We can see Varian immediately breaking off out of that mid-fight, either looking to get a flank or to go straight down to the bottom lane.
Does look like they do have the flank, however Malthael may have vision of him. He definitely saw that Lion's Maw, so the jig is up and the news is out. So he will be rotating into the bottom lane with Malthael, and they'll go ahead and have their fun for the next, I don't know, 10 minutes of the game.
We can see High King's quest coming out of Varian, so it's not totally unheard of for Taunt Varian to pick up High King's quest, but it does lean a little bit more towards C Smash.
Yeah, or do we have the legendary Twin Blades Varian coming down here? That would be interesting.
There is a boss on this map that Twin Blades Varian can solo.
That's
Big engage coming out from gillyShark onto Cathan, silenced, and is not able to get out of there. First blood goes over to gillyShark.
Yeah, Stark came in and rotated up from that bottom lane and contributed just enough damage to be able to confirm that kill. So, nice little pickup there.
And his horse is pretty white, so he's not going to miss out on too much of that bot lane experience, just maybe 1 or 2 minions.
This is one of the maps where you might be able to get away with not being on a pale horse. So, because this is Tomb of the Spider Queen's smallest map that's ever existed as far as 3-lane maps are concerned, so, yeah, but nonetheless, did pick it up, opts for those quick rotations. I want to mention, you said something in the draft about this wave clear. Look how far ahead in the rotations gillyShark is right now.
Yeah, they were actually waiting in mid lane for about 3 or 4 seconds before the minion wave even showed up. It would have been maybe a good time to take that bruiser camp on the left-hand side. And now they're actually splitting off Sylvanas, so they have kind of a 1-3-1 going. So they're definitely getting ahead in this rotation. And on the other hand, we have Minion Miners splitting off 2 heroes to take that camp, which immediately gets scouted, but too late for them to actually do anything about it.
Yeah, and look at the gem count as well. Because of the wave clear pressure, gillyShark is up 39 gems to 21, now up to 25, 26, but it does seem like they've definitely got this rotational advantage down pat. Now that level 4s are picked up,
we have a Twin Blades Varian.
We have a Twin Blades Varian, the man, the myth, the legend. Oh my gosh, who do I get to congratulate on that? Kobo, congratulations, you have picked up the Twin Blades Varian into an all-poke comp. Good luck. Have fun. Good dodge there by Maiev.
As Kerrigan would say in Brood War, a bold move, but we'll see if they're able to make something come from it.
Oh man, those Kerrigan quotes from StarCraft 1. You can get me with any StarCraft 1 quote. How many times will we quote StarCraft in this?
Not enough, I can tell you that.
Yeah,
Cathan looking for the turn-in, but it looks like he's going to get stopped immediately by Jinxie Cat. Neither team is getting in a ton of their gems. Kobo does get some from the bottom lane just now, and only actually gillyShark having the turn-in right now. I don't know how many Cathan lost when he died earlier. Big engage coming out onto Kagakiri, but Banshee's going to get him out of there. Cathan gets booped in really far by Junkrat, and he should be able to get away with that additional healing coming out from Stukov.
Yep, good, nice boop first off with the concussion mine from the Junkrat. Actually hit ETC after the slide was already used. And we do have a pause. So we do press F to pay respects to the mouse. Stark with the generosity. That's pretty good. Yep, DOS student pointing out in the chat that they are not undefeated. You are correct. I went ahead and fixed that. because they swapped sides on me and I didn't update the text. But we've got it now. Alright. Ready from... Alright. Alright. Back to the action. And immediately we do have action. Cawthon getting engaged on. Gets a nice heal though, and he will be restored pretty much up to full health with that armor granted from his trait, so... No big deal there. Level 7's nearly on the horizon. Jaina actually doing quite well on the Fingers of Frost quest, so that'll be a nice little damage spike as the levels progress.
At the moment, neither team is looking too hard for an engage, both just kind of jockeying for position around the Web Weavers, but Malthael's actually able to sneak his in at the bottom turn-in, and that's going to be the first Web Weaver phase going over to gillyShark.
Good little pickup there. Rotational advantage does end up working out, and they do get that first Web Weaver phase. We'll have to see how much they can get off of it. As expected, they will be prioritizing the well-pushed-out top lane. Of course, always important to get that lane as a possible win condition because it has a boss. Chest Looter actually taking a ton of damage from the Maiev Jaina combo. Unable to be finished off, and now looks like Minion Miners taking a little bit of engage before those Web Weavers arrive.
Maiev getting a lot of Q resets out onto Kage Carry and Chest Looter, but gillyShark is going to back up saying, you know what, just getting the front wall is enough. We don't want to try and push in too far. The Web Weavers don't provide that much of an advantage to this early phase in the game.
Yep, that's definitely true. Those front walls worth like a minion and a half to 2 minions worth of XP, so not a whole lot given up. And you can see Minion Miners still ahead in XP, even after 2 front walls went down, so that anti-snowball thing really working out. Kaimo getting hit by...
Varian gets on Chest Looter, but isn't able to do anything. However, Sharonda's going to be the first one to get taken down on the side of Team gillyShark, bringing it 1 kill apiece.
Yeah, Himibo actually had a great engage.
Kagekiri got to from really low, sub 80 hit points, but not quite enough damage to take her down.
Yeah, that was very, very close. That was a good engage by Himibo, and a good follow-up by Cawthon. That should enable them to get this turn-in and relatively free. Cawthon with the Trust Fund of gems goes ahead and throws some of them in. And with this amount of gems, I believe they've got about 40 left over. They should be able to get a second one. Second turn-in is always possible. Stark and...
Big gank attempt coming out on Stark in the bottom lane. Maiev not quite able to get the Umbral Bind, so he's going to be able to walk out of there just barely.
Good escape there by Stark. I think talent set affect that. Not exactly, didn't take the that level 1 mobility talent, but nonetheless was able to escape without it. Cawthon trying to engage on the Chest Looter, and Chest Looter retreats right on out of there.
Jaina actually already finished with her Globe quest. That's a really quick clear time on that, so she's going to get that additional damage versus chilled targets.
Yeah, that was a really, really fast clear, and it was even while they're behind in rotation, so that was really an impressive pickup, and it could make a lot of difference, especially in clearing that trait, the Frostbite trait that'll get you the Ice Block later. So, nice job there. Ult's now available for the side of Minion Miners. We do have pretty standard across the board, with Mosh and Shield Wall being maybe a little extra spice.
I think Mosh is probably pretty standard on this map. You don't get a whole ton of value from... Ooh, there goes the Ring of Frost, only hitting Johanna, but she's able to use the D-Shield to get right out of here. Yeah, I think Mosh gets more value on this map, generally speaking, than Stage Dive, just because, like you mentioned earlier, it is the smallest 3-lane map in the pool by a significant margin. But that is the first fort going over to the side of the Minion Miners.
Yeah, shaping up to be quite a good game. gillyShark still very much in this. Both teams available for a turn-in, and it's just down to the goaltending. Kobo and Marshall going to try and turn in here. Kobo does get his in, Marshall gets his in, so that's 33 of the requisite 55 in. We'll have to see if gillyShark, who's currently jockeying for position on this top turn-in, can do anything.
Varian decides that it's a good time to go ahead and take a camp, which works out pretty well because there's no Malthael on the bottom, so they're not actually losing any net experience compared to the opponent's team.
Yep, Stark is going to go ahead and turn in 23 gems down bottom, so we're it's a little bit of catch-up. It does mean that they are just two... the side of gillyShark is 2 people away, no matter which 2 it is. So one of them has to be Chest Looter. Important to keep track of who is the most important to turn in on this map.
Both teams really fighting over this top turn-in, and they're going to start committing a lot of ults to it. Jaina gets down really low, and that should take her down. Yes, it does. However, the second kill coming out with that last rights, that is a 2-for-0 and almost a guaranteed turn-in on the side of gillyShark.
Yeah, Jaina really didn't seem all that out of position, but all of a sudden the poke came through, took a little damage. Johanna dropped the Blessed Shield. There's the Riptire that finished off the kill, and the Wailing Arrow that also did a lot of damage in there. So lots of long-range damage is expected from the draft, and that resulted in a basically a full turn-in for the side of gillyShark.
And it's really kind of unfortunate. Jaina has mostly been doing a lot of siege damage. She's still almost 10,000 hero damage away from actually getting that improved ice block.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time, and that's going to put a lot of pressure. That'll take a lot of pressure off of the Jaina, rather. So we'll have to see how Marshall plans to complete that quest as this goes forward. Maybe he has to get a little more poke in against Johanna, because it's very hard to poke out that back line.
Kubo trying to get some damage done in the bottom lane, but Stark is still right on him. I don't think he'll actually be able to chase him all the way unless he gets some assistance from Jaina, missing the Blessed Shield. So Kubo's gonna be able to walk out of there, and that is a pretty decent ultimate wasted on the side of gillyShark.
Yeah, that a little bit of a bummer there. Blessed Shield missed just a bit to the top, just above Kubo, so it happens. We'll see if Chthon setting up in the bush, but he's seen by a Junkrat mine. A Junkrat grenade, rather.
And a Tyrande Owl and
all the other
kind of walking by.
you know, maybe they have seen it. All right, maybe a counter engage here could be dangerous, so they don't have Blessed Shield available for another half minute, so they have no real engage potential. So wise of gillyShark to back off.
I kind of would have liked to have seen them engage. They could see that Twin Blades variant was still in the bottom lane, and taking a 5v4 isn't that bad of a call, even under that low of a fort. But now we see Minion Miners, they're all grouping up to trying to get the bottom turn in.
Yeah.
Johanna gets gems turned in at the top turn in, so now they can fully engage on this defense, and Chthon gets down really low very quickly, but he's able to power slide out.
Yep, B is able to get out. 33 gems still remain in the Web Weaver cocoons for now. gillyShark is just 5 off from having the turn-in available to them. However, they've only turned in half those gems, so we'll have to see. Junkrat is down here taking that siege camp. There is an engage onto Jinxie 4v1. Can they kit a Johanna kill? Absolutely not. Johanna walks away at full health. That's Johanna things. Right. Himibo looking to try and get the turn in. Johanna is on the stall. Malthael is picking up soak in the top lane. There is still a lot of poke, as we mentioned, on this draft, and Himibo is having a tough time dealing with cycles. Kagakiri getting very low. Varian had the chance, but it wasn't quite enough. In the meantime, blue Web Weavers are coming in. gillyShark does have the Web Weavers. Tyre gets slapped away by the big arm of Stukov and does get taken out. So nice defense there. Gonna put gillyShark at a significant disadvantage.
gillyShark does have the disadvantage in ult economy, but even just buying space with the Riptire can provide some pretty significant value. However, Himibo coming in for the Wombo combo, actually, they get the setup, but don't actually catch anybody in it, except Stark, who kind of puts himself on it after the fact, and he gets blown up. Jinxie Cat does not have the D-Shield available, does not quite get taken down, but ETC gets taken out from the counter kill, and Chest Looter gets a double out onto Maiev.
I'm pretty sure that Junkrat kill was not intended, but it happened. Chest Looter wants to go forward, emboldened by his recent double kill, and gets absolutely smacked by the Stukov arm and the Frost Billies of Jaina. Marshall gonna take a lot of damage, along with Kagakiri, though. And New Flash, very important he doesn't die. He's got 54 gems on his person, I think all held in that big left arm.
I don't think Kagakiri feels comfortable in this game unless they have less than 10% hit points at any given time.
Sounds accurate. Nice peeling Blessed Shield there. That is going to cost 20 gems just sitting there on the ground right next to Jinxie Cat, and there they go. So, while it doesn't prevent them from turning in because of New Flash's 54 gems, it does prevent maybe more of like a double turn-in style scenario off level 16.
We're getting to a point in the game where things are starting to look pretty bad for Minion Miners. They don't have a significant XP deficit, but the map is almost entirely painted blue right now. So gillyShark has all of the map vision, all of the map control, and it's up to Minion Miners to try and push out that lanes while at the same time not getting ganked and get that turn-in in. Because if all the lanes are pushed out and they get the turn-in, it just does the job of pushing the lanes out for you, and that is not what you want out of the objective. You want a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, they do have the capability, now that they've picked up a few gems, of getting at double turn-in style, which could really snowball in the late game. So hopefully they can figure out a way to not let this passive XP go to waste. Here comes a combo again. Himibo and Marshall connect with a nice combo. New Flash with the Stukov in. Silence in the middle, doing a great job. Burst down Malthael, and Jinsey Cat did not get away. No, there's no way. Kobo goes ahead and dives in the back.
On the chase, trying to get that Tyrande, but gets a little bit of self-peeling. Is able to get out of there, only having 2 heroes go down, but that was still a very solid fight, trading up 1 mercenary camp for 2 hero kills.
That's pretty good. I'd take that. I'd absolutely take that.
Any day of the week, I'd take that.
I would. Every day of the week. And they get a free turn-in for this, so this could be that snowball opportunity they have. Look at this bold play. I don't think this will last, though, now that they know, yeah, gillyShark gotta run. And there they go.
Using that improved
Are they
concussion
gonna
grenade.
engage? Nope.
The boss despawns just a little too quick.
Yeah, they could have, Himibo could have possibly, if the call was to keep that boss up, they could have gone for the boss, but I think I agree with the no call. Overall, they gillyShark did have the reses coming through. Would have been risky. Not good.
I would have liked to have seen Minion Miners push out that bottom lane at least once, maybe twice before getting that turn-in. Death timers were long enough that they were going to get the turn-in pretty much guaranteed, but look how far back that Web Weaver is spawning. It's going to take a long time for it to get any actual value.
Yep. It could, however, be a good stagger point where you end up pushing with one lane and then rotating down to it and still having it at roughly half health. Could work out, but I tend to agree with you. As the rotations start to occur, it looks like Minion Miners wanted to stick in mid, will decide to split off down to that bottom lane. Probably just try and get the relatively easy to pick up fort here. Guaranteed wall, though.
Yeah, but like I was mentioning, the Web Weaver's down to a quarter health before it even starts hitting buildings, so
Yep.
they'll get some damage out, but this is not a guaranteed fort for them.
Nope. Not in any way. However, the space has been created. Cawthon and Himibo doing a nice job dissuading the step up of gillyShark, and they do end up securing the fort, so nice job there. And they've created enough space for a possible turn-in here in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, turn-in after turn-in is a very powerful strategy to get on this map if you can make it work. But it looks like they're not going to go for that immediately. We see Kobo in the bottom taking that siege camp, but Cthon is now trying to get his in, as well as New Flash. Jinxie Cat not going to let it happen, however, engages by herself, pops the D-shield to get out, but the additional stall is provided by Tyrande. Kagekiri gets solo mosh pit, and the interrupt just isn't there quick enough. Huge damage coming out, and Tyrande is correction. Sylvanas is the first to fall. Himibo got brought down really low and is taken down by Stark, who's able to get away for now. Goes back in onto Kobo, who pops the protected, by the way, and there comes the Riptire. No protection anymore. Kobo gets brought down, and there is the triple kill. The 3 for 1 in favor of gillyShark, and that is... Thankfully, Stukov held on to their gems, but they actually don't have a turn-in anymore.
Nope, 3 short, and that was a, it seemed a little forced, almost, from the side of Minion Miners. That ETC mosh pit came out really disjointed from the follow-up. The ring ended up coming in a little bit late. It all seemed a little too rushed, and, you know, it was very, very close, but I did like the solid counter kill onto the ETC by the side of gillyShark, so... Nice job there. Good job preserving the gems, and we'll have to see. The game shall continue with the boss in play.
I really like this play of keeping Chest Looter behind so that he can try to prevent the counter turn-in. That'll make it so that gillyShark is going to be the only team actually getting value out of that team fight.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really good point. That was a nice job by gillyShark in general, keeping Chest Looter around. That was very well caught. So they'll go ahead, look to grab the turn-in here. Even if the boss just kind of dies here, it'll get front wall, and then
Stark seeing if he can make something happen, but Minion Miners is going to pull out just a little bit too far.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Junkrat's trying to fly in, but
Stark is necessary for the turn-in right now, and this boss is already almost dead. However, we have the level 20s coming out from the side of gillyShark, and they were trying to push that advantage to see if they can get something, but it looks like they're just going to fall back on the safe turn-in instead.
yeah, I tend to agree with that. They seem to be caught between the two decisions, and so they'll definitely go ahead and pick up the turn-in. Front wall is down on that top keep, so that'll be a good point of aggression. Bottom lane needs to be pushed out just a little if they can before these web weavers.
Pretty standard level 20s coming out from the side of gillyShark, and top off is an interesting choice coming out from New Flash. Otherwise, looks like pretty standard level 20s coming out from both teams. The No One Can Stop Death is actually a little bit interesting. Not convinced that he's going to be able to stay alive and just get value out of that persistent E instead.
Yeah, it does only have 2 stacks.
A little bit of a flank. But gillyShark was positioned just a little bit too far south for that to actually get any value. And at least have the web weavers pushed up pretty far in all lanes.
Yeah, and these are web weavers with a bruiser camp here in the middle, granting the spell armor, so that's going to take even longer to take out. But, yep, it does get taken out nonetheless, and there's no real engage. The poke happened. Ooh, Kobo and Cawthon getting a bit low. That Starfall coming through. It is not the upgraded Starfall, though, so it is not going to cause, I believe, the vulnerability in the area. But, nonetheless, it was a bit of an investment to distract from the bottom keep.
Really deep all by himself. And he is maybe going to get taken out for his hubris? Not quite. Big root coming out onto Kagekiri, and the counter engage coming out from gillyShark makes Marshall pop the ice block, but still no one yet taken down, but that Riptire is on a mission.
Alright.
A mission that it failed.
Mission failed. Maybe they'll get him next time. Alrighty. Top keep taken out.
Minions, they're actually going to take out top keep, and now that they've got their eyes set on that mid keep, trying to go for a 3 keep play, that's going to put a lot of pressure out onto Minion Miners. But gillyShark is not convinced that they're going to be able to actually get it, so they just make the safe play and back out. Time to get back on the defense.
Yep, gotta respect the mosh pit there, and they did a good job. Cawthon hasn't used it in a while, so they knew that was up. And now they've got a great advantage, gillyShark does. They do have 2 keeps worth of pressure, 2 lanes constantly spawning catapults, but they don't have anything to force a win yet. They just have to play a little bit of defense, keep Minion Miners from turning in, use Tyranda's Owls to keep scouting, make sure they don't get surprised by anything, and then and go from there. I like their position.
gillyShark does not yet have an avenue for victory right now. It's just about a minute and a half until boss comes up in the top lane, and they're 40 gems away from a turn-in. So really, they're just playing to try and get a pick, or to try and force enough pressure out on the map that they can get that boss in a minute.
Well, there's not a whole lot left on the map. There's only those 2 bruiser camps, both up in about a minute, or rather the one on gillyShark's side. Minute and 10 off. Oop. Large grenade's gonna go ahead and pop the Stukov with the splash damage.
104 gems on the side of Minion Miners.
Oh.
That's almost another 2 turn-ins, and with the amount of gems you'd get from the first turn-in, you'd probably have a second turn-in.
Yeah, but they're not out of it.
Doing a really good job of goaltending.
Yeah, I feel like this comp is almost tailor-made just for this map and just for goaltending. New Flash gets 47 in, almost half the wealth of Minion Miners gets turned in. Now Marshall and Kobo gonna get interrupted. And the poke not quite coming through right now for gillyShark, although the health bars not looking... Stukov's pretty good at healing. He does that healing thing well. Ooh, Ice Block on Jaina. Are they going to follow up? They missed the Blessed Shield. Drop a little bit early, but a lot of damage put onto ETC. Hemibo, also in a bit of trouble, is going to be forced out of the fight. Kobo dives in, is going to be run out of town by a tire and the entirety of gillyShark, and I think that's going to be the end of the game.
Yeah, even Marshall is not going to be able to quite escape. New Flash looking to get maybe be the only person that doesn't get taken out, but a single Stukov versus 5 is not a winning team composition.
No, not particularly, and that should be, unless he can one-shot everybody with the arm, that would be pretty good, but I don't think he can do that yet.
That'd be a pretty good level 20 upgrade. Stukov auto-attacks one-shot heroes.
It's pretty good, pretty good. I mean, the trade is basically one-shot minions, but nonetheless, the core is going to get shot down to 0, and game 1 is going to go over to the side of gillyShark.
GG, well played for both teams.
Yeah, that never fell out of reach for Minion Miners, until obviously they died right there. But
yeah, that game was never over until it was actually over.
For sure, absolutely, good way of putting that. So, going ahead, we will go ahead and figure out what Minion Miners is going to do as we work into our second map here, and I'm going to adjust some hotkeys like a jack attack.
I gotta say, if I were to have to give MVP to any one person, it would probably be Chess Looter. Just his constant cues stopping the Minion Miners from actually getting that turn in provided so much time and so much space for catapults to build up on their side that it was just too much map pressure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The poke comp for gillyShark for that map really prevented... it really whittled down and waited for the mistake of Minion Miners to come through during the turn-in phase. You could tell they're antsy trying to get 2 people to turn in and all this stuff, and eventually they made a mistake, and gillyShark was able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, we can see just on the kills that gillyShark did seem to have a little bit of the superior team fighting, but a lot of that was just they got damage in first with their long-range heroes.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Junkrat 1 shy of 80k damage. Could have tried harder, I guess.
It's a feels bad, man.
Yeah, it's a feels bad, but, you know, it happens sometimes. Yeah, 13-6. Taking a look at the talents. Nothing too crazy. The Cold Snap might have been it's an interesting pick. Against that amount of poke, maybe the Ice Blink would have worked out, but nonetheless, it did happen.
I will say ETC had several people around him during his last death, so the Deathmosh could have gotten a lot of value that maybe could have swung that team fight in their favor, but speculation, that's all it is.
Yep, for sure. Real quick, I do want to talk about the Mosh Pit, because I don't think it ended up coming through. I don't think it led to a kill, unless I'm forgetting about one of the team fights, but it did lead to a kill, but it was a trade out on his own life, and then the whole team got walked over, so... you know.
Yeah, it didn't have as much value as I would have thought, to be honest. It never really caught more than 1 or 2 person, and it always got interrupted pretty early.
Yeah, and that's a danger of taking Mosh into such a poke and backline heavy comp. I mean, you've got Tyrande can interrupt with Flare, Sylvanas can interrupt with Wailing Arrow, Johanna has shield / trait. Malthael can't interrupt, and Junkrat has Concussion Mine, which usually is not in a great spot for it. But there's a lot of interrupts, and getting all 3 to 4 of those people into the same area to prevent that interrupt it's a tough one.
I think Riptire technically can, but that's not usually your response.
Wouldn't it be great if the Riptire danced when it got in range? It just starts spinning around in circles and jumping up into the air.
I would love that, actually.
That's fantastic. Alright, don't have the next map through, but I figure they'll post it in the NGS channel in just a minute. And as soon as it does, we'll get into there. Anything else you have to mention about that previous game?
I feel like, and I say this in basically every game that I end up casting, that one team has a execution that is more difficult than the enemy team, and I always feel if that's the case, then the team that has the easier comp to execute usually ends up having the advantage, and I feel that in this case, gillyShark just had the easier team comp to execute. They had the long-range poke, and they never really had to engage.
I completely agree with you there. The burden of execution, as Cavalier Guest called it, that was a big part of how you draft and how you make a game happen. All right, let's see.
We have Volskaya Foundry, which that is the map that Minion Miners choose to play on most of the time.
I'm going to go ahead and assume you are right there. So we have been invited to Stark.
Yep.
They did.
Minion Miners did in fact pick Volskaya.
I just want to point out they swapped sides on me again. So that means I have to hit. So, in the overlay thing, yeah, I did. It's nice, it swaps everything except the extra text, which wasn't directly intended to be used for that. So, that's alright, we'll go ahead and flip these around. And look at that. We've swapped it all up. Please don't swap sides to make it consistent. I just worked to fix that. You don't have to do this to me. You're talking about it.
I'm a little bit sad to say that the Minion Miners, despite playing this map more than any other map, don't have any spicy team compositions for this map. They just tend to play it their own stock standard style. Way too much alliteration.
Oh my god, they're swift.
Oh my god, they're actually
No,
sides.
they did.
The monsters.
Ah! Think of your casters. Alright, I'm practiced with this. They've already done it 3 times. Oh gosh. At least they're now arranged in semi-rainbow order on the left. It's fantastic. Red, yellow, green, and blue.
I will say gillyShark coming in with the strong portrait synergy. Minion Miners, they're all haphazard all over the place, so they just don't... It doesn't look as coordinated.
Yeah. Isn't that our strategy?
We have a strategy?
Yeah. Sometimes.
That's news to me.
Yeah. Alright. Everybody's ready. So maybe. We going? We going? Or are we going to be promoted to host again?
Yeah, and then they're going to swap sides.
Oh no. Alright, we're in. Let's go. Alright, we're headed over as said by Katya Volskaya to Volskaya Foundry, picked by Minion Miners. And according to Ektar, they don't have any spicy strats, such as Sylvanas, turrets? Turret with Mercenary Queen, or
That
Lost
is spicy.
Vikings. Those are spicy strats, especially if you do those together. Alrighty. Kane
I'm a
Band
little
again.
bit disappointed with Team gillyShark, not from their play, but because in the past they have run Tassadar on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and I love Tassadar. So I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't decide to go in on that team comp. Another Samuro band.
Another
coming
one.
up.
Is this
Interesting.
Target Band? Do we need to check profiles here? Does anyone play Samuro here? Support main? Come on now. It's crazy. It's crazy, I tell you.
No one immediately jumps out as a Samuro main.
No. Don't ask me. Jimmy Band out again.
Yep, so far we have identical bands coming out in game number 2.
Diddles
Will
Band?
it be a Diablo ban?
Do we have it? Do it. Yes. Alright. Mirror draft.
All of our analysis from game 1 still applies to game 2 with regards to those bans.
Absolute. My goodness, it's the same thing. We just, like, go to the VOD and click here and just replay Game 1's analysis and then voice over Volskaya Foundry every time we say Tomb?
Does it bother you at all that she says Volskaya Industry and the map is called Volskaya Foundry?
No, because Volskaya Industry is the thing from Overwatch. The Foundry is just a part of the industry. But as far as Heroes' continuity is concerned, yes, it's very disturbing. And it makes me mess up the map name more than I'd like to admit.
We have our first little shakeup coming out from Marshall on Leeming this game.
Yeah, we've changed from Jaina to Li Ming, and we've got Stukov picked up early.
Tyrande and Melthael coming out. This is starting to look really similar.
God, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But
I think Malthael is actually even stronger on this map than the previous one.
why you say that? I'm actually
Couple of reasons. First off, it's a bigger map, so Pale Horse gets a lot more value.
Right.
And if they do have to make the defense, the percent damage is actually really strong against the Triglav.
That is true. Well, gillyShark is going to have to deviate at some point. Sylvanas was banned out, so this will not be an objective poke comp with Sylvanas this time.
No, it'll just be an objective poke comp with some other hero.
With Junkrat and whoever. Doesn't even matter. Just pick another poke hero. Do the same thing. Or they could just go into engage. Doesn't matter. There's a Nubarak. That's a strong engage hero. Along with Phoenix. So going ahead. Miners thought it was broke, so they are going to try and fix it.
Phoenix is really good in an engage comp because he has not only that slow, which is a little uncommon coming out from an assassin, but he can put out really significant burst damage.
Yeah, and of course his ultimate is a meme all around if you choose to pick the beam, or you can take the more standard purification salvo.
Unless they pick up a really heavy CC hero for their 5th, I would be quite surprised to see the meme beam come out here.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
And looks like we have Thrall and Kael'thas, which I would be shocked if Thrall was not running the 4-man with Crash Lightning, considering they have a Malthael.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. And that's interesting. They've gone double melee assassin. That's an uncommon style of composition at this point. Counter Junkrat.
I take it back, actually. Considering the solo lane is either going to be Phoenix or Junkrat, they might not want to put Malthael in the solo lane.
I don't know who they want to put in the solo lane. I mean, Thrall's just going to have to play way out of there, so solo lane advantage definitely going to give to the side of Minion Miners here.
I think if Minion Miners have really practiced their CC combo chain, and considering they run the same team comp quite often, I'd be surprised if they didn't. But double stun coming out of a Nubarak, plus the silence from Stukov, and pick your damage dealer is going to do a lot to make sure that any target that they decide needs to die is going to die. Even Johanna can't deal with that much CC because of the silence.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if she gets caught before the traits popped, it's unfun city for even the likes of Johanna. So we'll have to see. I tend to favor Minion Miners draft here for sure. So, alrighty. You have new fancy buttons I just put into OBS or into Heroes. So let's go ahead. I'll start on the right here with Minion Miners. Down 0-1, and they need to win this game, bring it back. We have Himibo on the Phoenix, new flash on Stukov again, Marshall moving over to Li Ming, Coffin on a Nubarak, and Kobo trying to escape on the Junkrat.
And the victors from game number 1, we have Tyrande being played by Chemo, we have Malthael by Chesslooter, Thrall being played by Stark, Johanna once again by Jinxie Cat, and Kael'thas by Kagekiri.
Alrighty, trying out some new... I rebound the Z button to right bracket so I could zoom and turn the camera at the same time, so I can go full GSL on this thing. I'm ready.
Couple of level 1 changeovers. We have Fear the Reaper coming at this game. Malthael is going to have a standard horse to ride upon. And we have Echo of the Elements from Thrall, so he will not be the solo laner. Or so he will not be trying to get that 4-man value, rather.
Yeah, I just want to... You said it earlier in draft. It's a better map for Malthael because of Pale Horse, and then he doesn't take Pale Horse. I'm confused. There must be a plan. And it's also not a Crash Lightning from Thrall, even though he's in the 4-man.
That's the one that surprises me the most, honestly. Like, you can still get a lot of value with Fear the Reaper, especially in those point control fights. But I'm really surprised that there's no Crash Lightning.
Yeah, that, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Anubarak opting for the bonus health and health regen. I think that's a very smart pick here as well. There's a lot of damage on the side of gillyShark, and, you know, being able to tank just a little bit more of that will make a big difference when you're diving in face first.
Both teams grabbing their turrets with nearly identical timing, just a little bit quicker coming out from the side of Minion Miners. However, they're coming in for the heavy engage and the invade. Turret's just sitting there. Kagekiri gets blown up, though. Chesslooter is going to get taken out as well. And that's a very successful invade coming out from the Minion Miners, and it is not over yet. Jinxie Cat is still in a lot of danger and gets taken out as well. That's a 3-for-0 coming out from Minion Miners, and they steal the turret.
Wow. That's some aggression early. They have that 5... I guess they've probably practiced that a lot, because that was very impressive looking. They get the camp as soon as it pops. And then if the opponent's timing is off by even 5 seconds or something, 5 people right into the opposing camp, gets the invade, gets 3 kills early, already up a level as we're about to start up the first Triglav Protector phase.
I don't even think it was 5 seconds, but that was a really impressive invade coming out.
Yeah, that was that's definitely well done on the side of Minion Miners. They are not deterred by their defeat in Game 1, and they're going to come out swinging very, very hard here in Game 2.
Prepare to begin field testing.
Down in the solo lane, we see Chesslooter is doing a really good job of clearing the wave faster, but he can't put any pressure onto Kobo whatsoever. And Malthael, he just kind of tickles buildings, so he clears the wave, and then he's just kind of sitting there looking for something to do and just not finding it.
Yeah, that's very true right now. The Malthael wave clear, always very nice. I wonder if the Junkrat mine would be any useful, like on top of the minion wave, but not my area of expertise, were I to say. So we'll move over to the team fight and the point here, or maybe the team fight whenever it occurs. Thrall up in the top lane, gonna go ahead, defeat the siege camp captured by the side of Minion Miners, and then go ahead and push his own out.
Ooh, this is a really dangerous mercenary camp trying to be picked up from gillyShark, but it'll give them a lot of additional teamfight potential if they're able to secure it. And it looks like they're not even going to try and defend it from the Minion Miners. So we have 1 turret on the side of Minion Miners, but we have 1 biotic emitter coming out from gillyShark. Both mercenary camps cleared in the top lane, so all the objectives are done except for the actual objective and this turret, which comes up just now. But I would be really surprised if they decide to drop back and try to take that out. Himibo is going to drop the turret right away, and they get the heavy engage onto Thrall, who does drop the biotic emitter just in time. A lot of damage coming out onto both teams, but no one falling quite yet.
Ooh, Cawthon and Himibo both getting really low. Cawthon actually first to go down. Actually very surprised at that. I really thought gillyShark was going to have a tougher time with the Stukov silence with these squishier assassins, but they were able to prevail through at least this team fight. We do have we do have that advantage being picked up. Also a turret being picked up on looks like both sides. Tyrande heading down to the camp as well. So
I really feel like you can attribute that to the biotic emitter that did so much healing during that team fight that took primarily on the left-hand side, at least in the early portions of it. So that just shows even if you're down a hero, you can try to get some value elsewhere out on the map.
Absolutely. Alright, looks like this is a fight for the point now. 4v4 on the objective, and Cawthon taking a lot of damage, along with Himibo again. Going to blink out into the living bomb of Marshall. And that is going to knock Himibo down to Hearthstone range as we approach overtime here. And it looks like this is going to be going over to the side of gillyShark unless some real changes happen here in the next couple seconds.
Yeah, Cawthon is much lower than really anyone on the side of gillyShark, so I'd be surprised if they actually tried to take this team fight. They just don't have a significant enough advantage to try and make it work unless they can get some really good poke damage out. But Chesslooter, he gets in onto Cawthon. Lots of big boot coming out onto Tyrande, but even more damage coming out onto the side of Anubarak, who's just barely going to be able to survive. Kill goes out onto Thrall. And
hold on. What? Is this actually getting turned around here? Everybody very, very low. Could be an overextension. And it might have been.
I think it was a bit of an overextension. I think they should have took that kill and just given up the objective. But
so
it's hard to make that. It's hard to make that call in the heat of the moment.
Oh, it so is. You're especially with Li Ming. All you have to do, turn around, hit the one shot, boom, somebody else blows up, and then, oh, it's so tempting. It's so difficult to deal with, but happens.
Speaking of Li Ming, she's actually going into an Arcane Missiles build. That's pretty interesting.
I have not seen that in a very long time. It is, I mean, Charge Blast is a very rare pickup. Seeker, less so. It's got great single point damage. But, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. If we get maybe Fireflies, Glass Cannon, or if we get the standard Mirror Ball, we'll have to see. It's an interesting Li Ming build, and it's one of the best things about Li Ming is the talent diversity.
Both teams jockeying for position here around the support camp, and it looks like gillyShark, they identify the Junkrat's in the bottom lane. They're going to try and pick this up. Junkrat, he's going to hurry on up here, but for the moment, it looks like this team fight is actually going in favor of the 4v5. Ults coming out from both teams, and everybody's just pushing their R buttons and seeing who comes out on top. For the moment, it is the Minion Miners coming out on top, and we're getting Ming set after Ming set here, getting all of the members of gillyShark really low, and that's a 3-for-0 trade in the favor of the Minion Miners and the support camp.
That was actually crazy. You mentioned everybody was pressing the R button. 5 ults had been out on the side of gillyShark. 2 of their members died to a counter of 2 ults on Minion Miners. They were up in an ult economy after that and still got the kills. That was actually crazy. So great team fight there. And we saw the Biotic Emitter do so much work in the last point fight. And now Minion Miners have it for this one. Really showing a nice, almost like the whole home field advantage for this map. They definitely seem to be more comfortable here than on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
And they've identified that Thrall's in the top lane. They're just going to go ahead and get this 5-person invade. They're going to have all of the items available for this next objective.
And Grief inventory is becoming full. Only 2 more could even be taken. So, we'll have to see. Siege Camp is available. Protector going to be coming up within the next couple seconds. So we'll have to see. Jinxie Cat is going to get ahead, walk forward, because Jinxie Cat is Johanna, and Johanna has that kind of privilege. Mana Addict is not done either for Kael'thas yet, and that's going to be very important to surviving the Anub'arak burst. He's been first down, and I believe 2 fights so far. So, seems to be the point of attack right now for the side of Minion Miners.
13 talents picked up on the side of Minion Miners, but it doesn't seem like they're going to try and push that advantage too heavily. 13 isn't the biggest talent tier advantage in the world, but it's still pretty significant.
Yeah, definitely not something I'd like to be fighting down voluntarily, unless I knew I had some kind of advantage. There is
Cthulhu's looking like he wants to try and get a gank in the bottom lane.
No.
Bro charges in, but nothing to get from it. Although they do identify that Johanna's still in the top lane. If they could get an engage onto somebody, that would be a very advantageous fight for them.
Yep, that is very true. Couldn't quite get the gank through the through that conveyor, and we are going to the top point here. There isn't too much conveyor to worry about. We'll get to the conveyor mayhem on the next point, but early control point being picked up by Minion Miners, and they're going to go ahead and build that percentage.
Interesting, Li Ming's actually holding on to her 13 talents here all the way into level 14. Has still not yet decided what they're going to take.
Yeah, I wonder.
Bottom lane, we can see that gillyShark has decided that they don't want to try and take a fight on the plane, at least not yet, so they're going to get some counter pressure in the bottom lane. At least work on that front wall, and they're definitely going to get the well, I think, before they rotate out. Looks like they might even just stay for the fort. But in the top lane, it's been identified what gillyShark is doing, and Minion Miners, they like that plan. They're going to take down the top fort instead, and they're going to do it even faster than gillyShark.
That is a nice plan, and they think they will take it. So, yeah, this is becoming almost base trade tier right now, as 2 forts go down with a free objective on the side of Minion Miners that's going to be pushing into this top lane. I really kind of put a question mark on that move. We'll have to see. It does give gillyShark the advantage going into the next fight. But right now, they need to not take critical damage in this fight, so we'll see.
Looks like the Minion Miners don't want to push down that top lane. It's a little risky to try and go on the keep this early. The Triglav is strong, but it can definitely get chunked down pretty hard. So they're just going to try and get this mid fort and then see if they can get what they can in the bottom lane. There comes the Sunder engage, but Stukov has the counter engage. Jinxie Cat stepping up looking for a Blessed Shield, perhaps, isn't going to find it. Kage Kiri chunked down really hard by the Triglav, and that actually gives them confidence enough for the Minion Miners to go into the bottom lane.
Yeah, interesting choice to go bottom. I guess it works out, especially if you counter pick the well. I mean, that was the whole goal of gillyShark at the start, and now that'll be that's going to be taken out. Triglav down to just 15 seconds left. Engage coming in by Johanna. There is no peel available because Anub'arak is in this Triglav Protector, but looks like that's going to be it. No real fancy things. Jinxie Cat going to take a little more damage, but should walk out. Okay.
That's still a lot of damage that was taken out from gillyShark. The Triglav, you can't ignore it and just run past it the way you can some of the other vehicles. It will definitely chunk your whole team, especially if you stand in those lasers. And Chthon, he's using the Anub'arak Beetle privilege to see if they can get this bottom fort before the next objective.
Yeah, the Triglav
Popping
didn't
a turret
get
to
any
make it
points. Web Wrap onto Johanna. Malthael's going to go ahead and take care of that very quickly. Junkrat Tire connects with 2 for big damage as well as the fort, and I think that's plunder claimed there by the side of Minion Miners. They'll take that, and
we now have the level 16 talent here, and they're going to use that for the 3rd, I think, invade coming out from the side of the Minion Miners, and they need to get someone to pick up that turret. There they go.
Yep. Seems about right. They've been swimming in turrets all game. We do have Fireflies on the Li Ming, so the projectile speed increased, and the cooldown reduced. Really, the whooping kind of build does really well against single tank styles, so I like it.
gillyShark identifying that the support camp is being taken, but all they can do is just kind of let it happen, because that 16 talent tier is really, really strong.
Yeah, I almost... It's like... I mean, as far as talent tiers go, like, I think 10 is the biggest one, 20 next, and then 16 for sure, and then there's a big power gap. Like, that 16 talent tier is so incredibly powerful. Cannot fight down that, ever.
I would definitely agree with that ranking of talent tier relative strength. In general, there are some heroes that you could say get a huge power spike.
Yeah,
at
of course.
the game. It's just general.
Right.
Jinxie Cat hiding in the shadows, seeing if they can get some damage out in Chthon, but really only takes a little, and the rest of it's just kind of taken by his shield.
Yeah, Chthon playing a good Anub'arak here. Actually, notice there are 2 bionic emitters here on the side of Minion Miners. They could heal like crazy. Do you know if they stack if you put them on the same spot? I figure they would.
I would love to find out.
Alright, Minion Miners, you're here. You're dedicated to the cause of science for point C down here. Or they can just have 2 emitters rotating on the conveyors at bottom, rotating through, but always providing constant heals.
It's all the advantage of having a boombox without having to draft Lucio.
There you go. Who is actually reworks tomorrow, right?
Yes, indeed.
Ooh, it's going to be exciting. And then he gets banned out for 2 weeks, so sorry.
F.
Alright, the total chaos point C, C4 chaos on the bottom point here is going to ensue shortly. 3 turrets and 2 bionic emitters. Minion Miners are stacked with items here, and
they are fully encumbered.
They will have to drop items to pick some up. They have dropped the turret camp, and they could even go ahead and invade again and pick up an extra turret if they really wanted it. This
Potho's going pretty much full living bomb build at this point.
Yeah, it
going
didn't
with
take
the ignite and the living bomb, reducing cooldowns. So really trying to spread those bombs around.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that though. He didn't take. Importantly, he didn't take the bomb explosion radius at 7. Or sorry, not explosion radius. It's spread bombs deal 35% more damage at level 7, and that seems to be a pretty important talent. So I wonder if he kind of switched up the build mid-game or something like that.
It seems like with all of these items and all of this poke damage from the Minion Miners that, yeah, gillyShark just couldn't find an avenue to actually engage, and so they're going to give up that Triglav basically without a fight.
Yeah, that was, they picked up a turret camp to defend with. They're looking to hide in a bush. See who sees it. Well, it got spotted.
That was well done by Kobo. There comes the root onto Jinxie Cat, and that's a lot of damage coming out from that Triglav laser, and a huge Riptire as well. That's a lot of damage put out onto gillyShark with really nothing being done in return.
Yeah, Minion Miners looking very well poised. Health bars higher, Triglav still well done. Kagekira gets absolutely rooted, gets knocked out by the Junkrat actually. Still doesn't matter, the spread volley ends up taking Kagekira out, and that's going to allow all the space in the world for Minion Miners to go ahead and siege onto this keep and likely pick it up here as the minion wave and the turrets arrive.
I definitely don't think that they can try to actually take the game here unless they can get another pick, but I do like them kind of positioning aggressively forward. It lets the top lane actually get pushed out, which has building catapults, and they're actually going to try and get some damage on.
Double bionic emitter. Do we get it?
There goes the web run on Johanna. See if they can get something follow-up from it. There comes the first bionic emitter.
Oh.
A lot of damage put out onto Kobo. And there comes the second bionic emitter. No overlap with the first, unfortunately. Chest Looter comes in for some damage, but he gets whipped away by Stukov. Chthon coming in to see if he can do anything, but it looks like they're just going to take the safe disengage at this point.
Yep, however, they did do a small amount. Ooh, before getting the safe disengage, they did take the proper action. Marshall going to take a Sundering and a Lunar Flare, but scaling keeps Marshall alive. Whew. Got down to that very, very small health number. And
we have a catapult in the top lane, just kind of chunking that keep down. So all of that jockeying for position gets that top keep down to half health without them having to do anything directly. And this frees up the Minion Miners to do their very favorite things, which are mine minions and get camps.
Yeah, I think they're becoming camp miners as well here. Gonna go ahead with that level 20 talent tier advantage. Gonna go ahead and take this biotic emitter yet again. Good item. Biotic emitter, good item. That's really my analysis.
Eloquently put.
Yeah, it's good item. That's all. One thing that
Minion
I'm kind of
Miners getting the clear in the top lane. And then they're going to actually go take their camp. So delaying this camp means that they're going to have that pushing in top lane a little bit uncontested, which allows them to position somewhere else aggressively on the map.
Yeah, they are looking for they're looking for the free mid fort. Not a big deal right now, but it does open a little bit easier of a Triglav avenue if they were to march down mid. So we'll have to see. Looking at the level 20 talents, we have Talrosh's Elements, which is interesting with the Firefly's Mirror Seeker build, since you don't switch elements quite as often. But we'll have to see. Jinx Cat taking a couple stuns worth of damage is going to be chunked out but healed up appropriately. Kagakiri ejected from the fight via Cord of Kobo, so yeah, nothing real great other than a little bit of posturing and clearing. It's really going to come down to this Triglav here. It looks like gillyShark has been having a tough time engaging, as you do with Johanna. You only have that one Blessed Shield to engage with, and it's hard. It's hard. They don't have a lot of it.
Mostly pretty standard ults coming out from the side of gillyShark as well. We have the Indestructible again. No one can stop death again. Shooting Stars. This time we got Flame Strike range and the Wind Rush coming out from Thrall. So mostly pretty standard. There goes Kobo actually getting vision with that boop. Wrapping the support. Big damage comes out onto Marshall, and they get taken down right away. No more chance for main sets. Himibo has to get the warp out of there. Chthon gets chunked down really low, and he gets taken down. Himibo is going to try and use the well to stop from going down, and it's actually his level 20 that's going to keep him alive. But that is a humongous team fight coming over to Team gillyShark.
Yeah, they properly quote unquote properly. I'm gonna say the hero of the fight was definitely Stark with that Sundering from the bottom side there. They got the wrap onto Tyrande there, and wanted to take advantage of it with the Anubrak dive and everything. But the Sundering timing came through absolutely perfectly, and really turned that fight for him. Knocked Li Ming out of position and out of health very, very quickly.
Kagakiri going back to get the clear on that top lane, but the keep does still fall. Now going in for the clear on the bottom lane, which means gillyShark can get a little bit more freedom to try and poke out the members of gillyShark. I think I said gillyShark twice.
That is A-okay. We can repeat ourselves in casting, and it's okay to say things twice.
It's okay to say things twice. Triglav coming out from the side of gillyShark. Pretty much uncontested from the Minion Miners, but even at 21 minutes, having a full keep and keep wall in every lane means that they can actually try to mount this defense.
Yeah, and the Li Ming single target damage is going to do a really good job at that. The Fireflies build working in their favor here, along with Himibo going to be able to just do Phoenix tier levels of damage. Here comes the Sunder engage, but Cawthon interrupts it a little bit. New Flash going to get taken very low. Cawthon escapes by the carapace. Oh my god, Kaimo! Watch it! The grenade ends up taking out Kaimothin. And he was down to single-digit health. I was talking like 4, according to Aliabs. Might have even been less, and then he walked into the grenade.
That was a truly fantastic defense coming out from the Minion Miners. They had 3 members extremely low. There goes the counter engage out onto Himibo. Gonna get taken down? Not at all.
Oh,
He actually survives, and there's the Weber up coming out onto Malthael, and there goes the follow-up CC and just blown up. And with all of the minions and all of the katas that are building up out onto the core, I would like to actually see the Minion Miners go for keep here. You have a Stukov. Stukov can do a lot for topping a team back up. Kobo using the self-propel to just get himself up there as fast as he possibly can.
Go for keep or go for core. Minion Miners won it all right here. Core is at 67% already with no shields because of the that camp. Johanna stuck in a CC chain for the Aegis, has to force indestructible, but that is going to be it. Minion Miners goes ahead, comes back, and wins game 2.
Minion Miners drawing the first blood from Team gillyShark for the entire season.
That is true. That's actually very true. gillyShark dropping their first map for the entire season. My boost has expired. That is tragic. But yeah, really well played by the side of Minion Miners. They came back strong, changed their composition to how they would like it, kind of denied out the plan of gillyShark, adapted to the previous game, and we're going to a game 3 result of it. Let's take a bet. Are we switching sides at least once?
I think they're going to have it down pat the first time. We've been around the block a few times. I think it's going to be smooth sailing here into game 3.
Yeah. Alrighty, well that was really well played, and it all started as soon as that tempo began with the 3. Basically, the whole thing started with the 3-person invade at the very, very start of the game, 1 minute in. Already set the tempo, and I think it didn't fully snowball from there, but it definitely set it.
I definitely have to agree. It never felt like the Minion Miners were too far on the back foot, even if they lost a couple of team fights, which they definitely did. They never lost so badly that it felt like they were really pushed back all the way onto their side of the map and couldn't do anything out of the map. And when all 5 of their members were up, they were really the ones dictating the pace of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of style that gillyShark has been taking so far. They've taken this passive Johanna-style composition, and it worked for them in game 1 because the objective occurred on this static point that they could just kind of poke out, and it wouldn't ever... The differences between the map, the objective would never complete as long as they poked. However, that's not the case here for Volskaya Industries, Volskaya Foundry. And I really led Minion Miners to just being able to force the engage when they need and took the objective when they needed to. So well done there, and we'll have to see how gillyShark changes their strategy now going into game 3.
I gotta say, Chthon had some incredible patience with his engages. A lot of Anubarak players, you've got that burrow charge stun into impale stun, and they just want to get it out and blow someone up as fast as possible. But especially in that invade that gillyShark had started the support camp, there were 4 members up there, and they had a slight advantage, but Chthon held back. He did not engage until his Junkrat was there, and they were able to counter-engage and take that support camp.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. I think Chthon really, despite the quad death, maybe him and New Flash really helped that game along. Chthon really good with the engages that game because it is so easy to go full ham with a Anubarak and just throw your life away. So, well done overall. All right, everybody's.
We do in fact have gillyShark on the left-hand side. Let's see if they stay there.
Alrighty. Well, this game for all the marbles. Both teams have picked up at least 1 point here, so this final one for the bonus point and the win in the series. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if what ends up changing. I like this. I do like this series so far. Nice choice.
So it looks like Cursed Hollow was picked, but it seems like gillyShark actually opted for first hero pick, so we actually have the map pick going out onto the side of Minion Miners.
Again, so they picked all 3 maps this series.
Oh, we have a correction. gillyShark picked, and then they changed the first draft team to Team 2. Alrighty.
You have been debated. Feels bad.
That's what happens when you try to do that in-depth level analysis, and then it was just a mistake.
All right, everybody says we are ready, matey. So we'll oh, Himibo's not, so we'll go ahead. Stall for a little bit as Himibo goes ahead. Is this all right? So we have seen some pirate puns. We have seen some hook puns. Will we get Stitches on Blackheart's Bay, possibly?
I think we're gonna have Juice Pirates.
Juice Pirates.
That's definitely what Stark is implying by hashtag pirates.
I mean, it is Curse Hollow, big wide map. Juice Pirates, the forts go in for the keep. I could see it. What division are we in?
Actually, we are in Div B East, and I think this might be Juice Pirates' best map. I don't think we're actually going to see it.
No,
but I would be
so.
beyond tickled pink if we did.
I haven't seen that since I think it was Season 5 or Season 4 when it was rampant in Division D. It was...
The last time I saw it, it was being played against us in Team League.
Yeah, I remember that. I hope we won.
We did. You void prisoned our buildings, yes. And they did not fall.
No, they did not. I do remember that now. I was like, it was either I was on Zarya and Expulsed or Zeratul. And so, yeah, Zeratul good handled the Juice Pirates. So, well, let's see. What kind of adjustments would you like gillyShark to make? They've taken the same 3 heroes. What would we like to see from them? Do you know any hero pool that they haven't picked from yet or anything?
They have, like I said, they played Tassadar with Tracer before, but that's only been on small maps, which this definitely isn't. And I don't think they've played Cursed Hollow at all, actually. So I'm hoping they have some kind of a big map strategy, like an Abathur or just something a little bit different. You can't play this map like you can play either of the other 2 maps that we've played so far. They're very different.
Yeah, I would love to see an Abathur here, and I know you would too. Smurban, talk to me.
Minion Miners have got to know something we don't. I kind of want them to win just so we can ask about that.
We can still ask about it. We're not barred. They're not muted and like prevented from talking to the rest of us. We can just ping them and be like, "Yo, what's up?" That is a respect ban right there by gillyShark. That is
Absolutely.
a Stukov respect ban, and I totally agree with it. Time for Deckard Cain.
That is their only other support that they've played. I wonder if we get that ban coming out just to force them to do something different.
That could be a great way to throw Minion Miners off their standard support game.
Minion Miners not respecting them at all, and we have the support choke.
Here we go.
Time to see. Minion Miners going to have to dig deep into that support pool, and we'll see what they pull out. But that does leave the Diablo up, and they take it immediately.
They will be trembling before the fantastic Diablo skin.
And this is a good map for Diablo. Lots of places to charge your opponents into walls.
Yeah, I love playing Diablo on this map. Jimmy and Ming, immediate deviation in the draft. And really, Kakakiri still going on the mages. Raynor being played by Stark, so both standard damage dealers so far in the previous game. So I don't think we'll see some kind of crazy shifts up, but
no, it still plays into their strong poke composition that they've been working in the past. It's just a little different flavor. Hemibo once again on the Phoenix, but Kobo's actually going to be on the Falstad, which gives a lot of global value on this map.
Alright, I'm getting report from chat. Ah, there it is. Stark has a level 72 Samuro. You're not allowed to play Samuro. I guess everybody just knows that and bans Samuro. Fair enough. I'll allow it.
Ah, man. See, this is the problem that I have with Blizzard's system for when you look at profiles. It shows the heroes with hearts, not necessarily the heroes that have the highest levels.
Can you not sort by that?
You can. You just have to actually go into their full roster.
Oh, yeah.
If you just look at the summary, it gives you the hearted heroes.
Yeah,
Ooh,
or the most played.
Spicy Tassadar ban. Looks like Minion Miners have done their homework because as a correction to what I said earlier, they run Tassadar with Raynor, not with Tracer.
Well, there you go. That's a good ban there, then. Wonder if gillyShark's going to have to change... Well, they will have to change their plan on the fly if it involved Tassadar to start, Key says, as a permanent ban on Samuro. Long wait time, and we do have Arthas and Dahaka picked up.
I like this because it can work in multiple ways. Arthas is really good at holding a point, but he's also got that root for a really strong engage, and Dahaka can provide the follow-up. So at this point in the draft, really, the gillySharks can play this either by just staying back and letting their poke damage, and they also have the ability to, at any point, just decide that they want to try and pick a hero.
B-dubs. Now, this is different from the side of Minion Miners. They've now taken on the triple damage, like heavy backline. They have 4 ranged here. Diablo is going to have a tough time. Tyrande picked up as the support for gillyShark, as we've seen previously. All right, Ektar. This is a spicy draft. This is changed up. Who do you think has advantage here?
I for sure favor gillyShark here. I think they
agree.
have the much more all-around solid team comp. You can't put it past the Minion Miners, though. They have a lot of ability to apply map pressure. They have a lot of macro potential, not only with the double global, but they just have a lot of siege damage potential. So I think that the play for the Minion Miners has got to be put pressure on the map and force gillyShark to take engagements that they don't necessarily want to, because gillyShark, I think, has the stronger straight-up team fighting. And they have a stronger pick potential.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the solo frontline only melee Diablo. That might be a little tough. I know you can get left high and dry, but the damage might be enough. We'll have to find out. On the far left, tied 1-1 in the blue, we've got gillyShark. We've got Kaimo on the Tyrande. Kagekiri moving to Li Ming. Stark on not the permanently banned Samura, but rather on the Raynor. Jinxie Cat on Arthas, and Chess Looter on Dahaka.
On the right-hand side, we have Diablo, played by Cathan, Falstad by Kobo, Phoenix, once again by Hemibo, Jaina, played by Marshall, and Brightwing by New Flash.
4, 3, 2.
Interesting, Brightwing actually going for Hypershift, which is the talent I prefer, but it's not the winningest talent. That would be the Polymorph reset. Oh, and unfortunately, New Flash just lost the game for his team.
That's it. Tyrande.
That first owl hit.
Yep, that's game over. Wrap it up. All right, let's head to the post-game show now with gillyShark's win.
Yeah. Cathan steps up, immediately gets chunked, but Brightwing's got that nice little heal over time to keep him topped off.
This is going to be so tough for Cathan this game. It's really going to test his resolve as a frontline player right here. He's going to have no diving buddy. He's going to have to play very safe, but also still create space and not get pushed back. The only thing he can do is maybe wait for an Arthas to step up and then like flip him over and knock him back into his team. But even then, you're knocking people into a 4-man backline. It's going to be really tough for Cathan, and I hope it's not the end of Minion Miners, but I'm feeling uncomfy as a Diablo player.
This can work, it's just you have to play the somewhat uncommon, not engaged Diablo. Play him more as a bruiser that just stays back with the team in most cases. Now we see both tanks in mid lane acknowledging that all of the damage and the heals have gone elsewhere. to pick up camps, and they're just going to kind of try to get stacks off of each other, make sure they don't lose XP. But this fight will never go to either hero.
No, absolutely not. Regen globes will do more healing than there'll ever be done damage. Unless some ganks come through. Arthas is just burning mana. And, you know, health regenerates a little bit easier than mana here. Bruiser is going to be picked up on the side of gillyShark first. So
Got a bit of a gank bush setting up in the bottom lane. See if they can get some damage out onto Stark, who steps forward.
Bye-bye.
Gets hit down really hard, but... Oh, the double hammering is actually going to get the final kill out onto him.
Just barely got the
done by the Minion Miners.
Let's see this. I want to check that death recap. Did get knocked out by just 40 overkill, so a little bit unfortunate there. But that's what happens. Nobody was seen on the map on the side of Minion Miners, and they end up taking that first pick and about a 3/4 level advantage with 2 globals going into this first tribute.
As it is, the Minion Miners, despite having double globals, not going to get a lot of value out of it during this first objective because they were both already positioned near the mid and bot.
Yeah, they have the ability to rotate out quickly if things go wrong, as the level differential practically evaporates. Both teams picking up 6 at the same time. But yeah, I totally agree. Everybody's already here. Falstad already in the bottom. Not really sure what the plan is. Cawthon goes in. And
though gets interrupted 4 different times, but
yeah,
only stops the channel once, unfortunately.
Yep, true facts. Dahaka still up in the top lane, not being requested into the fight just yet. We'll have to watch the bush and the sound effect for it to come through. Cawthon dives in, gets his armor cut by Tyrande. Wow, takes a ton of damage somewhere in there, but does walk out with just a couple of hit points remaining. Gonna go ahead and drain that well.
I like the the Brightwing not actually using the Z yet, just trying to make sure that they can get the most value out of that 30% heal.
Yeah.
We actually see Phoenix rotates up to the mid lane to clear out that Bruiser camp, which gives plenty of room for gillyShark to come in, get the tongue out onto Cthon, but not enough follow-up CC to actually secure that kill. But it does provide plenty of space. Never mind, Kagekiri does get interrupted by the incredibly long-range Astral Flare.
And there it goes. Alrighty, long first objective time, but it gets picked up by gillyShark. Lots of poking going down from these high-ranged compositions, and looks like we'll have the Bruisers picked up for Minion Miners, and they're going to have the Bruiser advantage going into this next phase, as I expect both teams to go pick up the Siege Camp after this.
I really like that we now have Kobo in the top lane, so he can actually use his global power to actually get value in the top lane before this objective, because Arthas is going to have to start rotating just a little then Falstad.
Yeah, and it's very important for that main tank to get to the point, so Kobo being there and just interrupting and slowing down Jinxie Cat all the time is so critical here. That is great. Arthas going to go ahead. I like the spray.
Chunks Jinxie Cat down to half health. Might need to tap up for this objective, which means it won't be up for the next part of the team fight. Not even going to do that, just decides to step in as is. Marshall says, you don't get to just step in here for free. Brightwing trying to get the interrupt out onto Stark, not quite able to do it. Cthon actually being the one to channel. That's a little different. Normally you have your Bruiser, your frontliner trying to stop the enemy team from getting in, not channeling.
Oh, not enough get down Mr. Presidents here on the side of Minion Miners. They are not covering for the channeling hero enough, but they do end up getting the curse. Cthon probably going to get taken out. No, ends up escaping out after charging into Chest Looter's burrow point. Kaimo getting taken down very low, and that is that went better than I expected for the stall that gillyShark went out. Minion Miners did well.
Yeah, that was a ton of damage that went out onto gillyShark, and if that fight had gone just a little bit worse, it could have gotten really bad for the gillySharks, just because the damage was a little bit split. If there was a little more focus fire, not only would they have gotten the objective, but they could have definitely got some kills.
Yep, for sure, but now 1-1 on the objective. We'll have to see if any team wants to make like a boss play here, forego a tribute. Doesn't look like it at this point. It would be unwise for Minion Miners to do it, as the tribute is on their side. Looks like we do have a gank possibly showing up on the Arthas as Falstad flies away, so Hearth's back, so never mind to that. Diablo is out front here looking to claim this very critical bush before the fight
coming
begins.
out for both teams, getting picked up right away. We have the Starfall, Disintegrate, Army of the Dead, Rainer's Singular Raider, and Isolation. And now we have the Poke coming out from Stark, getting Chthon down to about 80% hit points before even the fighting has really started.
Yep, we'll have to see how Koba decides to use Gust. Himibo takes a ton of damage. Could try and gust him into a corner. APOC comes out. R buttons being slammed all across the country. Chthon gets very low. Is not taken out yet. Jinxie Cat now taking the boss's wrath. Chthon ends up going down. And, yep. Not quite what they wanted. Minion Miners does lose the tribute, although gillyShark going to go ahead, not figure out who's going to capture it, and then has to wait 10 seconds to capture it again.
On the side of the Minion Miners, we saw the Apocalypse, the Mighty Gust, the Salvo, and the Ring of Frost. The only thing we didn't see is the Emerald Wind from Brightwing.
By the way, Emerald Wind.
A little bit of an interesting pick. I think that Blink Heal actually has a higher win rate, but with the much heavier engage coming out from the gillySharks, I actually kind of like it in this case. It does mean that the burst heal for that very critical Diablo is going to be a little bit lower than it otherwise would be. It also means the Brightwing's going to have to play a little further back because they won't have that easy 10-second cooldown escape.
Yeah, that is going to relegate Brightwing to more of a backline role, although you do have the capability of the Brightwing bombs, and if you successfully pull off Brightwing bombs that change games New Flash, I will be a fan. Love the Brightwing bomb meta that we had a while ago. Really one of the most satisfying team combos to pull off. You can have there's really a lot of displacement involved with this, with Diablo, Emerald Wind, and even the Gust available.
Toronto has been really on point with the Owls pretty much all game. It's really uncommon that an owl gets thrown out that doesn't do something valuable, seeing that the team is on a camp, seeing that they're not on a camp, getting an interrupt. It's just been, for an otherwise pretty unimpressive ability, they've been getting a lot of value out of the Sentinel.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm constantly watching him fly across the map, and it's working out. I don't think there's poke available. Yeah, Chthon goes ahead and pops the APOC. 90-second cooldown to try and cause an interrupt. That is not exactly what you want. Falstad and Dahaka tangled up in the top lane, literally. And they're having a tough time turning this corner here. And gillyShark is pressuring by taking the objective. Jinxie Cat going to go ahead, dive deep into the backline. Chthon is not there to peel. Nice two-man route. New Flash gets taken out with an orb and a disintegrate. And this is a full back out of town for Minion Miners, but not before Chthon pays for it with 100 souls.
Little bit of counter damage is going to get done from the Minion Miners. They will get this bottom fort, but it is not going to be as much value as the gillySharks are going to be able to get out of this curse, most likely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The Falstad and the Dahaka got tied up, and I think it was important for Falstad to come down into that to increase the poke that was available. Diablo going to get chunked down again. Really dangerous situation. Kaimo going to get zoned out. Leaves Arthas to die, basically, and Jinxie Cat only going to feast on a couple more army minions before getting taken out. So that is a kill during Curse for Minion Miners. That works out for them, and they'll be able to have much more free reign over this as they look to be bringing a gank into bottom. Nicely scouted out by Kaimo, and even a good flare to stop that. Well done there by Toronto.
Kaimo has just been playing out of their mind this game. Pretty much every Lunar Flare has hit somebody important, and the Owls have been all over the place in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little shortage of Lunar Flare hits to start. Only had 4 stacks going into that previous team fight, but really turned up the heat in the last couple minutes with the Lunar Flare shots, and it's working out really well.
We have 2 forts down on the side of Minion Miners with only 1 fort down on the side of gillyShark, which is going to put just that little bit of extra map pressure out onto the Minion Miners.
Yep, that top lane, although not quite a win condition for, I guess a win condition if they get an invade boss. But nonetheless, advantage in the top lane to the side of gillyShark. As Siege Camp's going to be picked up again. Both teams very consistent about picking up these Siege Camps. They're good at that. Boss
Ronda
started.
scouting out the bottom boss with the Owl, and Dahaka was face checking the top boss, so they know that the Minion Miners are not trying to take a boss right now, and that frees them up time to take their own boss. Some damage coming out onto Dahaka, but he's going to just walk right out of there, and the Minion Miners are a little bit unsure what they should do. They decide to take their boss now, but the boss in the bottom is already taken out.
And Owl's going to scout this.
I don't know if they'll be able to rotate up here fast enough.
We do have
They
Gust.
shouldn't be able to get here, and Gust will ensure that they do get this boss, but
Yeah.
Chest Looter, looking like he wants to put his butt on the point, decides better of it. New Flash pulls him out with the Emerald Wind. Diablo decides that this is the time to engage, goes out on the Chest Looter. Lots of R buttons being pressed. Himbo got brought down really low. Kobo going in for the really big Gust. That's actually going to secure a kill on 2 of his teammates. Kobo, what are you doing?
Kobo's going to get banished to the Traitor Realm for this one. That flyover Gust. Gonna drop the oops in chat.
Can I get someone in Twitch chat to clip that, please?
That was, oh man, that was an error. Definitely not the best moment that Falstad has ever had. Diablo went to pursue further kills, and the Gust put 5 people on top of 2 squishy mages, 2 squishy backliners, and yeah, that, you know, not recommended.
Only really getting the wall in the front lane, in the top lane, just because there was literally 0 follow-up because of the kills that happened.
Yeah,
As soon as Kobo decides he wants to go take this camp, Ronda asks the question, are they taking this camp? The answer is yes.
And they're basic, like, gillyShark is basically playing with map hacks right now. This is so impressive. I'd like to see some slug hunting one day from Kaimo here. That is impressive.
And into the taking of that camp just timed a little bit too slowly. They're not even going to step up on this objective. Instead, they're just going to clear the mid lane bruisers and try to reestablish some kind of a map pressure.
Yeah, they're having a tough time. Again, they're really unsure about how to play their composition right now, it feels. They want to engage, but they're having a tough time doing it. They don't
want to split soak, but their globals are in the same lane as the objective.
Yeah.
They have all of the right pieces of the puzzle. They're just trying to make them fit in the wrong places.
Ooh, Jinxie Cat gonna go ahead, take a little bit of damage, but didn't end up getting the full stun. We do have domination from Diablo, so we do have an increased increased safe engage range. So you do have that Q-EQ combo to work with.
And both teams' global heroes now rotating into the mid lane, although we do see Falstad split out to clear out that bottom lane and that catapult before its objective.
Yeah, definitely agree with that one. Siege Camp gonna get picked up as well. No
Kobo.
bribe on Falstad.
Kobo was not. He's just going to use the barrel roll to get the quick rotation out into the objective. One for one. Neither team needs to secure this objective, but it is on the defensive side for the Minion Miners, so it puts them into an inherently good position.
Right, Thon going ahead and taking a little bit of damage early. Here comes the Emerald Wind plus APOC combo. Does not end up really resulting in anything. Phoenix fires off the Purification Salvo, but gets chunked off. And really a lot of damage taken by the side of Minion Miners. Health bars looking worse for wear here. And yeah, really don't know what's going to happen there. Ooh, good ding-ding there from New Flash. Is going to go ahead and start healing his team up, but it's going to be long road to recovery. Chthon gets counter-engaged with the Lunar Flare. It is not enough to save Jinxie Cat, but it does cost Falstad his life. Chthon now in peril as he gets taken out with a Fire Stomp to Death Rattle out, and it is the 4th consecutive tribute going over to the side of gillyShark.
A little bit of anti-synergy coming out with the Emerald Wind and the Apocalypse. I'm pretty sure the Emerald Wind actually pushed Arthas out. New Flash is going to try and use Z to get out of there, but Haka says, I don't think so. And that's kind of the problem with not having Blink Heal. You do not have much of an escape.
Another owl hit. So impressive. They do sniff out the Dahaka here, expecting the gank. Marshall's going to have to be careful, though. Himibo's going to have to be the tank in this situation. Take the damage. There's the silence going out. Start coming in the back. Marshall, going to dodge the penetrator round with... Oh, I don't think that was a good call.
No, it's a 75 cooldown for a 50-second death. Kobo decides that he wants to take this fight now. We're just having lots of small individual fights out on the map. Esports is right.
Everybody wants to participate in their esports.
Stark is able to get out of there just fine, just trading away the Raider.
Yeah, Banshee's expendable. Can build more. 100 minerals, 100 gas.
Quite a bit of pressure out on this top lane, however, and it looks like Minion Miners decide that they're just going to ignore it and try to fight over this objective, trading out a keep to hopefully stop subsequent keeps from falling. But we have the level 20s in from gillyShark. Chthon is actually going to drop the Apocalypse just to try and save himself. Jinxie Cat comes in, immediately gets polymorphed, but that is the immediate blow up onto Phoenix. And hopefully that'll be the only member of the Minion Miners that dies in this case.
Yeah, it just feels like there's so much anti-synergy going on right now. The Phoenix went out and then ended up dying. It's just, it doesn't feel cohesive enough for them, and unless they find some bonding agent quickly or something, they are going to be staring down the barrel of this curse and defeat here very, very soon. Emerald
gillyShark taking the very aggressive path, just getting the wall and trying to go for kills, saying, why get buildings when you can get hero kills and maybe get the core? Only getting one person with that Ring of Frost. Chthon goes in despite his very low hit points. He is gonna get taken down, but he's on short death timers. New Flash gets taken down. There's the double kill out on the Jaina. Everyone is very low out on the side of the gillySharks, but it's only Chthon and Kobo here to try and mount this defense. Chthon goes in for the charge, gets a lot of damage out on the Jinxie Cat, but it's just so many health bars left. I don't know if they've got what it takes to make this defense.
Yeah,
there goes the Phoenix kill. So. It's really close, but I don't think they're quite going to be able to do it. That is the 2-1 victory coming out for the gillySharks.
Really solid play there by the gillySharks. They definitely, I mean, they popped the Ming sets, they got the backline hits when they needed to, and went ahead, took the series from them. I think that was a really solid performance there.
I think you hit it right on the head from the draft. Chthon was just lonely out there, all out in front, and Brightwing, I love her to death, but she is not the greatest at just keeping people alive from pure healing numbers, especially a single target.
Yep, moving to that match summary, we do see 5 deaths here from Chthon, and that's being lonely. I've been the lonely Diablo before. It doesn't work out. You go in and you're like, I am the Lord of Terror. I will crush these mortals before my claws and all this stuff. And then there's nobody there. And
if you can survive to level 20, Lord of Terror can really do a lot to keep him up. But it's a hard game if you have to bank on getting to level 20 before losing.
As a solo tank.
Yeah.
Like, that's the big thing. You can kind of do it with Nazeeba if you take the comp. You can do it with Azmodan, but as Diablo, I mean, even with the globals, it's just so difficult. All right. Let's pop into, let's hope it's Lobby 2. Oh, Lobby 3. We'll go to Lobby 3 and go ahead and meet up with Kaimo, captain of gillySharks, to discuss that. We'll let them celebrate their victory.
Chess Looter, welcome and congratulations on your victory.
Thank you very much.
Congrats. We've been sent also off lane here, but yep, it is Chess Looter. Congratulations, and you know, it was a good series. You had a really solid poke comp game 1. That's really well done. You played excellently on the Junkrat there.
Oh, thank you very much. He's one of my favorites.
Mayhem.
And it shows.
Yeah, you did a great job conserving the Q cooldowns, making sure to poke out the turn-ins as it happened, and really worked out for you game one. Is there anything you want to comment on for that game at all on Spider Queen?
That was a comp that we'd practiced a bunch, and so of course we weren't able to get the Samuro, but we got pretty much everything else that we wanted. So at that point, it was just realize, okay, their comp is designed to kill one person and kill them very well. If we don't give them that opportunity, then what do they really do?
And that's
Makes
kind of what
sense.
we noticed in the team fights. You all just played very far back, played very safe, and let them try to engage into you, and it worked sometimes, but it didn't work a little more often.
Yep, that's for sure. And then you move to game 2 on that map.
Volskaya
Volskaya.
Industries.
Thank you. Thank you kindly. And you picked the same thing. Is that just it worked, don't fix it? Or what's up? The bans were the same, the picks were the same to start, and then they banned Sylvan, you had to change, but nonetheless.
So in the research that we did before our match tonight, we realized Minion Miners really only plays 2 heroes in each of the roles, and in some cases, if they're playing Raynor, they only play 1 hero, if allowed. So our game plan going into tonight overall was just to not let them do that. So our goal was to not let them do that, and after the first game, we won, so they were the team that had to figure out something else to do that would beat us.
Well, they did it.
Yeah.
They brought in
I'm-
that Anubrak play was solid.
I'm glad I have the replay for that, because I want to see what that Junkrat was doing in the solo lane, so I can do stuff like that. Like, that was really cool.
Do
Yeah.
you find that you have trouble in the solo lane against Malthael?
No? He was just doing some stuff that I hadn't seen before.
Well, that'll be interesting. We didn't catch a whole lot of it, but we did see that Malthael's really... There wasn't a lot of damage being put out on a Malthael, but at the same time, you're able to clear the lane quickly. So it was an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it was really interesting because a lot of the time the Junkrat was prioritizing doing chip damage on the structures rather than actually clearing the wave. So I was able to clear it for relatively free. And then he was doing some even wackier stuff, like using the concussion mine on the actual minions, which makes his grenades even worse. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm confused about that I'm really interested to go back and take a look just to see the effectiveness on that as opposed to the regular timing. I'm nerding out. I really enjoy the Junkrat game.
Yeah, fair enough. Always interesting to see when somebody brings a different kind of perspective onto a hero that you enjoy.
And if I can convince Stark to draft that for me, oh man,
The offlane Junkrat.
I'm all about it. I loved it.
Oh man, yeah, it can work as a matchup, but yeah, for sure they had a great comp though. I saw you target ban the Stukov and then the Deckard the next game. Just wanted to eat their support pool, but that Stukov and Nubrak combo really caused fits at game 2.
Yeah, props to their healer. He caused a lot of disruption, and especially on those points, the noob would burrow in, and there would be a silence immediately following up, and there was not a lot that we could do against that.
Nope.
So we died repeatedly.
Yeah, the common
Which
response.
definitely explains the respect ban coming out in Game 3.
Yeah, and it was... I think that was really the biggest thing that won us the draft, is forcing them into a triple backline Brightwing trying to heal up a Diablo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was an awkward draft for sure, and it forced them to play a support that they haven't shown yet. And I don't know if Brightwing is just a comfort pick for them, but I don't think it really fit their team comp very well.
I think they were maybe just picking global heroes because global heroes on Cursed Hollow is good. But if you're going to go triple backline plus a Brightwing, something's not quite right there, because the Diablo was on his own. Like, we picked a triple backline and had Jinxie on a solo tank Diablo a couple weeks ago. Jinxie couldn't step up at all, because if the Diablo goes in, it's just immediately isolated.
That's how it works. The Diablo goes, I'm charging in, and then he's lonely. There's not the intermediate follow-up that the Bruiser or second tank or somebody needs to bring. Like, that's the important part. All right. What was the reaction to the Gust on your side?
Oh, okay, thank you. Let's keep going. Sounds
Basic.
we're very clean throughout all of that.
Yeah, it was a generous gift, if I were to
Yeah.
say.
I think we were ahead before that, but
Yes.
that pushed the game even further into our favor. So I'm not going to object to something like that, just as a nice little, as you put it, gift.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. All right, Ektar, you have anything else?
Any particular reason you didn't run Tassadar in game number 1? Because I see that you've done it in the past with a team comp fairly similar to the one that you ran, and Tassadar is an old favorite of mine, so I'd like to see that.
If there's a situation where we aren't banning a solid right-click hero like a Samuro or a Raynor, then it absolutely might see some play, but it doesn't get a ton of value with a Junkrat or a Sylve because the auto-attack damage isn't nearly as high. So, regrettably, we couldn't pick it, but it's definitely in our pool of miscellaneous fun to pull out.
So it was because of the Raynor ban. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at all of the other auto-attack based right-click heroes, against a team that wants to kill you as badly as their team did, none of them really feel that safe. Like a Zul'jin, great, he can heal himself up. Oh, he's dead.
Fair enough.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, no, definitely. We both kind of concurred that in the games that you won, you definitely won the drafts.
Yeah, that's 60% of the match. 40% is execution, and if we're performing on average, if we draft better, then we should win.
Fair enough. Seems very reasonable
Solid
to me.
advice.
Yep. Turns out playing better and drafting better leads to more wins. Take it from the undefeated team. Thank you very much.
Formerly undefeated team.
Oh, undefeated in
dropped a map.
series. Undefeated in
Yeah,
series.
undefeated in series.
We dropped a map. Minion
drop a-
Miners played really well.
That was-
They absolutely deserve that map.
Oh, for sure. Played really, really well into the adaptation, so. Alrighty, well, thanks for joining.
Do you have anyone you want to shout out to the chat?
Well, immediately, and first and foremost, always, shout out to Gillyweed for just bringing us together as a team. Like, couldn't
Aw.
really do it without her, and all of her support. Shout out to Zergi, our 6th, who's feeling a little bit under the weather, so he decided to sit tonight out. Then shout out to the rest of the team. We've had a lot of fun the past couple weeks, and now that Kaimo's back from his long trip overseas, we're looking forward to seeing what other fun shenanigans we can pull out in the remainder of the season.
Cool, cool. Well, as always, big shout out to Gillyweed. We miss you. But have fun in Rocket League. Alright, that is all for us this evening. So, thanks for joining. It's been 7th Ace and Ektar. Hope you had a good time.
I absolutely did, and I'd love to do it again in the future.
Absolutely. Alright. Take care, guys. We'll see you later, and have a nice evening.